OpenAI, the company famous for its super powerful but very closed AI models, well, they just did something that nobody, and I mean nobody, saw coming. It looks like they're going back to their roots with this huge new release, and honestly, it could completely change how we all build and use AI. So let's dive in and figure out what this all really means.
But first, I want you to just think about this for a second. What if you could have that level of AI power running completely offline, totally private, right there on your own machine? Well, guess what? That's not a what if anymore.
Because on August 5th, OpenAI dropped GPT OSS. And it wasn't just one model, but two incredibly capable ones. And get this, they're both released under a super permissive Apache 2.0 license. That basically means they're free for almost anyone to use, to tweak, and to build amazing things on top of. Now, to understand why this is such a bombshell, you really have to look at the context. The last time OpenAI did anything like this was with GPT-2, way back in 2019. Yeah, that long ago. For more than 5 years, all their heavy hitters, GPT-3, GPT-4, were kept locked behind an API. So this release, it's a massive, massive shift in their whole strategy.
So, what do they actually give us? Well, this release has two totally distinct models, and each one is designed for a different kind of job. Let's meet our two new players in the game.
So on one side, you've got the powerhouse. That's GPT OSS 120B. This thing is a monster, a 120 billion parameter model that goes toe-to-toe with their own paid models like O4 Mini. But then on the other side, you have the local hero, GPT OSS 20B. It's a much smaller 20 billion parameter model, and it was built for one thing: accessibility.
Now, to run that powerhouse model, you're going to need some serious hardware. We're talking about a pro-level GPU with around 80 gigs of memory. Think something like an NVIDIA A100. This one's really for the big-time researchers and companies that need every last drop of performance.
But this is where it gets really exciting for the rest of us. The local hero, that 20 billion parameter model, it only needs about 16 gigabytes of memory. You know what that means? It can run on a modern laptop, on an edge device, basically on the kind of hardware tons of people already own. Powerful, private AI just became available to millions.
So how in the world did OpenAI pack so much punch into models that are this efficient? Well, it all comes down to a few really clever architectural secrets. So let's pull back the curtain and see how they really work under the hood.
Okay, secret number one is a technology called Mixture of Experts, or MO. Instead of thinking of the model as one giant brain trying to do everything at once, picture it more like a huge library full of specialists. When you ask it a question, it doesn't fire up all 120 billion parameters. No way. It intelligently routes your question to just the handful of experts that are best suited for that specific job. It's an absolutely genius way to make it fast and efficient.
Secret number two? These things aren't just text generators. Nope. They're agents. They have tool use baked right in from the start. They can browse the web for real-time info, they can execute Python code to do math or run analysis, and they can even use custom tools that you create for them. This is a huge leap from just talking about things to actually doing things.
But this might just be the coolest part of all, and it's something we have never, ever seen from an OpenAI model before. For the first time, we get to see its complete, unfiltered chain of thought. We can literally watch how it thinks.
And this example just shows it perfectly. So the model gets a tricky request. Count to 5, but you're not allowed to use the word 5. And right here you can see its raw internal monologue. It sees the problem, it starts brainstorming these weird solutions like saying 4.7, and it debates how to follow the rule. It's messy, it's kind of strange, and it's exactly how it works through a problem.
And then, after all that messy internal back and forth, this is the clean, polished answer it actually gives you. And the key here is that by separating the thinking from the speaking, developers can actually watch the model's reasoning in real time and make sure it's on the right path before it gives a final answer. That is a game changer.
Okay, so they're efficient, they have some incredible features, but how good are they really? Let's take a quick look at the benchmarks and see how these models actually stack up against the competition.
This chart, which comes from OpenAI's own safety report, is super revealing. It's showing how the models do on these really complex biological risk questions. Now look at the purple and green bars. That's GPT OSS. They are right there, neck and neck with OpenAI's own proprietary models, which are in blue. This is not some watered-down public release. This is a top-tier model.
And if you just need one number to prove it, here you go. The big one. GPT OSS 12B scores an incredible 90% on the MMLU benchmark. That's a massive test of world knowledge and problem-solving skills, and that score puts it firmly in the absolute elite tier of AI models out there today, period.
Now, we've been throwing around the term open source, but here's where we get to a really important distinction. It's kind of a plot twist in the story of this whole release.
You'll notice OpenAI is very, very careful to call this an open weight release, not a fully open source one. So what's the difference? Well, open weight, which is what we have here, means they've released the final trained model, the brain, if you will. You can download it, run it, fine-tune it. But true open source would mean releasing everything needed to build it from scratch, including all the code and the gigantic dataset it was trained on.
So the key takeaway here is that while we get the amazing final product, we don't have the recipe. The original training data and the specific code they used to build GPT OSS, that's all still a secret. You can use the car, but you can't build your own from the blueprints.
Okay, so with that important distinction out of the way, let's get to the payoff. What does this open weight release actually mean for you? You know, whether you're a developer, a researcher, or just someone who's super excited about AI.
Well, here's what you can start doing, like right now. You can run these powerful AIs on your own machine, which means your data stays completely private. You can build these incredible custom agents that can actually interact with the world. You can fine-tune them on your company's internal documents or your own writing to create a true expert. And you can do all of this without paying those expensive per-token fees to a cloud API. And you know what? Getting started is way easier than you might think. The community has moved at lightning speed on this. You can download and run GPT OSS with just a few clicks using amazing tools like Allama or LM Studio, or you can just grab the weights directly from Hugging Face. It's ready to go.
So after years of keeping their best stuff under wraps, OpenAI has just put a true frontier-level AI into the hands of the public. This is a move that seriously empowers individual developers and researchers in a way we really haven't seen before. So the only question left is the most exciting one of all. What are we going to build with it?